The next topic we're going to talk about in section 2.3 are what I call special lines. And those are horizontal and vertical lines, because the equations of horizontal and vertical lines are, look different than the equations of other lines. So let's start with the horizontal line. Horizontal lines. Okay, so remember horizontal lines, first of all. This is the xy coordinate system here. A horizontal line is like that, right? Okay. And a horizontal line always has the equation that y equals some constant. Y equals some constant. What it's telling you is it's telling you that the y value is always the same and the x value can be anything at all. Okay? The y value is always the same and the x value can be anything at all. No matter what you pick for x, the y will be whatever b is. Okay? Vertical lines. Now, just some trivia here. A horizontal line is a function. Notice we solved for y and nothing weird is going on. That's a function. Vertical lines, there we go, x, y. Vertical lines go this way, right? Up and down. Okay. They always have the equation x equals a constant. We usually use a. So what they're telling you is that the x value is always a, always, 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 whatever the number here is, a, and y is anything at all. This is not a function, okay? A vertical line is not a function. Those are our two special lines. So let's graph a couple. I am looking at number 11, and it says x is equal to -5. The most common mistake on here is to confuse the horizontal and the vertical lines. So here's a little hint. I make a little xy table, so x, y. And what this is telling me is it's saying x equals -5. So I put -5 where x is. Does it say anything about y? No. Is there a y in this equation? No. So that means y can be anything, so I'll put 0. Now let's do it again. This is telling me x is equal to -5 and y can be, oh, I don't know, 2. X is equal to -5 and y can be -7. Okay? Now plot these points. Let's see, x is -5 and y is 0. -5 and 2. -7 is way the heck down here. Aha, this is a vertical line. Done. Okay, let's do a horizontal. Same trick works. If you are getting your horizontal and vertical lines confused, make an xy table and look at your equation. This is telling me that y equals -1. So that means x could be anything I want. So I always want it to be 0 first. So again, it's telling me y equals -1, x can be, let's pick 2. So now I plot these. So 0, -1 is here. 2, -1 is here. Oh, so this is a lovely horizontal line. Okay. Now number 13 gives us a little twist. 13 says f of x equals -4. Okay, wait a minute. F of x equals -4. So the easy way to think about it is to remember that y equals f of x. F of x and y we use interchangeably, basically. So they're telling me that y, or the output value, is -4, and x can be anything. No matter what the input value is, the output value is -4. It's a different way of saying the exact same thing that we said in number 12. So when we plot these points, I again get a lovely horizontal line. Okay, now 14, I would like you guys to do 14 on your own. I want you to be really careful on 14. I put equations that look like this on the exam, and look at this carefully, and the first thing you should notice is that there is no y value. There is no y value in this equation. So that means it's one of the special lines, so your first job is to solve for x. Solve for the variable that's there, and then graph. So you guys do that on your own. 15 and 16 are two more I'm going to ask you to do on your own. Okay? And let's read the instructions. Determine the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of the equation. determine the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of the equation. These equations are given to you in standard form. Please look up standard form in your book. There's one of them I'm not going to tell you. You have to look it up. If it were me, I would find the slope and y-intercept by changing these lines to slope-intercept form. So that means we want to solve for y and change them so that they look like y equals mx plus b, and then you can read the slope and y-intercept right off. So I would like you to try that on your own. This gets you some practice with simplifying, and then check the answers at the end. Okay, I do want to do 17 for you though. Okay, let's start by reading the instructions. Graph the linear function by plotting the x and y intercepts. Okay, so there are two pieces to this set of instructions. Graph the linear function, so we know we're drawing a line, by plotting the x and y intercepts. That's how I want you to graph it. That means I must see the x and y intercepts, and hopefully the work that went into getting them, or an xy table. And I have to see them plotted with some nice dots on this graph. If I don't see the x and y intercepts, you cannot get full credit. Okay? So I'm going to use an xy table. And then I'm going to start by going, well, to find the y-intercept is on the y-axis, and therefore the x value is 0. So I look back at my original equation up here and I go, well, if x is 0, then this first term, the x term, would just be 0, so it's gone, and I cover it up. So it's sometimes called the cover-up method. And I'm left with this equation. Negative 6 times y minus 18 is equal to 0. And I just do it in my head. I go, well, what times negative 6 do I need to subtract with 8 to get 0? Well, I need a positive 18 here, so that would be a negative 3. Okay, so y is negative 3. Now I do the same thing. The x-intercept is on the x-axis, and therefore the y value is 0. So again, I cover up. If the y value is 0, I am left with the equation negative 3x minus 18 equals 0. And I either do it on paper or in my head, and I get that the x value must be negative 6. And now I plot these 2 points. 0, negative 3, and negative 6, 0. There they are, nice and big so Renee can see them. And then I connect them. Ta-da! The biggest mistake that is made on this type of problem is, number 1, you didn't follow the directions and show me your x and y intercepts. And number 2, you screwed up something with the signs. So the negatives got messed up somehow. So be careful with your signs.